Thanks for staying with us. The Jacob Zuma Foundation insists access to financial records from organizations such as the ANC and Nelson Mandela Foundation could be key to the former president's corruption trial. Zuma is due to go on trial with French arms company Thales on charges including fraud, corruption and racketeering in relation to the arms deal from the 1990s. The ANC says it does not have the records that Zuma's legal team have requested, which could shed light on claims that the party got so-called donations to block criminal charges against Thales. The Nelson Mandela Foundation is also alleged to have received questionable donations from German and French companies that were given a stake in the arms deal. Let's get to the reaction of the foundation then, bring in its CEO Sello Hatang. Mr. Hatang, a very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Newsfeed PM. So, did you get suspicious donations from some of the companies involved in the arms deal?
Thank you very much, Tembekile. I think maybe let's start with the correspondence itself. We have not received any kind of formal correspondence on the accusations that have been made, and we have also not received any such correspondence officially from the legal team for us to then officially say that this is what is alleged against the Nelson Mandela Foundation. What we have is a letter that we got from the media, which then said that the former president's lawyers are looking for some files whose origins we do not know. Just to state that in terms of our financials, they are on our website. So if one wants to see who gave us money, one can be able to see for themselves who gave us the funding that is alleged that we have received. From the letter that we got from the media, I also hasten to add, Tembekile, that we were only established in 1999, in August 1999. The letter says they're looking for donations that we received in 1998. So it tells you that we also don't know what kind of records they would be looking for from 1998.
It's interesting that you say you've not got any correspondence from the former president's legal team, because the letter that you correctly referenced that was leaked and is circulating online has a date of a deadline that would have been the end of July 2021. So in the past few days that these reports have been circulating, have you made any efforts to get in touch?
No, it's not upon us to do that. I mean, the deadline is now passed, and we have sent the letter to our legal team for them to advise. And truth is, for as long as we have no correspondence whatsoever from the former president's lawyers, it becomes difficult for us to do anything. It's like chasing your tail. We don't know who we should be asking what, except for the lawyer, the letter rather that we got from the media. So for as long as we don't have such correspondence, I think it will be waste of resources, very important resources for us to now be chasing a letter that we don't know.
And I just want us to be clear here, so look, you've said that your financials are available on your website, but you as a foundation would have no difficulty in providing them formally to the former President Zuma's legal team if you do indeed receive a request?
Of course not. I mean, we are an organization that has been run over the years as an honest organization that acts in the best interest of South Africans predominantly, and those that we work with overseas. So I think if such records are asked for, would be able to do that. You'd remember that even at the time that Madiba was very active at the foundation was a very transparent organization, and we are not intending to change that at all.
And would it be the foundation then that responds directly, I wonder if you're able to, on the second part of that letter in the paragraph that speaks to the foundation? And one of the possible allegations from that is that the late former president, Nelson Mandela, could himself have interfered in the awarding of arms deal contracts in the interest of companies that would then have made these payments to either himself or the foundation.
I think if it comes to Madiba's allegations directed at Madiba, those would have to be directed to the Madiba's estate, and which is led by David Kamuseneke. So I didn't want to comment on that because it's not something that we would do. It's upon Madiba's, like I said, estate to then respond to such allegations. Safe to say that it's interesting that it's only now that such allegations are then brought forward, when this matter has been going on for so long. So it makes you wonder if there's no other ulterior motive beyond just finding truth.
I mean, to his credit, yesterday when I spoke to Mzwanele Manyi, spokesperson for the Jacob Zuma Foundation, he said, well, they're not accusing anyone else of corruption. What they want to do is just to be able to access these records. But you and I have been in the space long enough to know that sometimes all it takes is an allegation to cause a permanent blemish on the reputation of a person or an institution. Are you worried about what this could mean for the reputation of the Nelson Mandela Foundation?
Not at all. I think, like I said, we are a transparent institution, so one is not concerned at all. Should such records be asked for, we'll then provide such records, and it will show that our financials have been above board in terms of how we've collected the funding. I mean, in recent times, we've also just turned down funding when through our vetting system, it was shown that the donor or the potential donor had dodgy dealings. Then we would then return such money. So we have done that in the past, and I have no doubt that from 1999, since our establishment, we tried to run a tight ship.
So you've always had a rigorous vetting system, correct?
We've always had that rigorous vetting system.
All right, I want to ask you about something else that I know you've been involved in, and it continues to be in the news. It's been over a month now since the unrest in KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, over 300 people killed. But apart from the criminal aspect of prosecuting the potential killers, there's still a lot of societal work and rebuilding that has to be done. And you are involved in that work. What exactly are you doing now?
Yeah, we've been in KZN. Last week, we spent a few days in KZN working with both Pietermaritzburg Chamber of Business and Durban Chamber of Business. And I think the work that we've been trying to do there has been of helping with relief, immediate relief, in other words, in the form of food, with Hulamin and IDC as the key donors for this. And then in addition to that, we are now going to be working with the Department of Justice, for example, and Constitutional Development, the SACC, to help with the rebuilding of the soul of the province and in a way also the soul of the country. So in the short term, it's work that we're doing around food relief, but in the long term, it's about rebuilding the spirit of the people. What we found there is devastating, Thembekile. To see people who, in terms of those who have suffered this kind of inequality and poverty, it's devastating to see people who have not had water, access to water and electricity for as long as they've been alive. So there's a 76-year-old whose house we went to. They've never had access to water or electricity. Tells you that that's a long-term thing that has been there. It's not the unrest. But then you have the unrest people who lost jobs. And we commend businesses that continue to pay people despite not being able to work. We met people, black businesses, for example, which have been working. For the last 9 years, we met a gentleman who tried to build his company. And overnight, it was destroyed. He's back in the street trying to rebuild again under a tree. So we're thinking that there's a long-term work that needs to be done. And the journey ahead, we will look back and say the unrest and those who instigated it must be arrested. We're pleading that they be arrested because they have set back many lives, many years back. And I think we should work hard to rebuild those lives.
Sello Hatang, CEO of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Good to speak to you, sir. Thank you for being on Newsfeed PM this Sunday.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.